just a reminder that we still have not received payment, and today marks 4 months past due. The tribe is 100% landowner on this lease, so it's at the discretion of what you guys want to do. Allow more time or take action as far as cancellation.
Have her as a friend on Facebook. If you guys want, I could try to reach out to her and say, ask her, are you going to pay?
Yeah, because it's minimal, right?
Because it was due back in,
December 1st.
and this is for 2A.
Yes.
You can go on to the next one.
Okay, then the third one is a notice of violation for the lease that was put up for bid in October. I listed all the action that we have taken as far as creating the lease, sending the invoice. We did a notice of violation for non-payment on January 31st. And we allowed about 5 days for mailing. And so payment would have been due around February 15th and still no payment. And then yesterday, we had staff go out and do a compliance check, mainly for visual, to see if there was any livestock or junk located out there. And the north road had no access because it was drifted over with snowbanks. And the south side, there was no evidence of livestock or anything. So given that this lease contains 2 allotted tracks, we're urging action to be taken.
On 3.
Yes.
Got that email I sent you on this one this morning?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was last month. He reached out and I told him that's how the process is. Anybody that asks for a lease deferral has to write a letter and it has to be approved by the whole council.
Yeah.
Majority of council to grant a deferment on a known date to pay it.
We wouldn't be able to accept the deferment.
Okay.
There is one way around it, is if you want to basically cash in the bonding for it and allow him to make a deferred payment to the tribe. Or we follow CFR and push for cancellation. And you have the option of selecting second highest bidder. And that comes with, I don't know, a little bit of, we got a call from the prior lessee who inquired last week if this individual made their payment. I stated no, and so he offered to match the highest bid.
Who was the previous list?
Jerry Christensen.
And it's right by all the rest of his lease.
Yep.
So if it cancels out, does that go to the next highest bid, or do you reopen the bids?
It's, at this point, we want your guys' input because you're technically majority landowner in all the other tracks except for the one allotted. So it's really up to you right now.
What?
It's up to you right now. If you want to do, I got it in blue on that second page. The second highest bid is like $9 less than the actual highest. And this is also 4 months past.
4 months?
Yeah, payments are due December 1st.
So we could put it back up for bid?
But he signed the lease on 12/21.
Yeah. So we gave him 30 days to make payment, which was January 22nd.
And first notice went out January 31st.
Yep.
What is the pleasure of the council?
So we need a resolution to.
Need a
at least-
motion.
a motion to say that he's in a lease violation and then a separate motion to rebid.
Or we could do just one motion to give it to the next highest bidder.
I would suggest, that's a fellow tribal member, you give them a 7-day business notice. You have 7 days to pay this, or this is going to the next bidder.
That's what the January 31st notice was, giving him 10 days.
Oh, it was? Is that the one I ordered? Okay.
So we give, according to the CFR, we do a notice of violation, which allows 10 business days. And so January 31st, like I said, I allowed mailing time. And so we estimated around February 15th to have payment in the office. And even at that, had he paid up until yesterday, we would have brought it down, say, well, he missed the notice of violation date, but he paid yesterday. And that didn't happen.
Well, what's the total amount on that lease? Do you remember? Looking on here, but it's not on,
It's on
it's on the,
47.46. But that includes a fee, so the annual rent, yes, 6,841.
and did you get the certified return, thing on the envelope that he did receive this?
I didn't make a copy of it, but I do have it upstairs, and then I believe you can use this, that certified notice on his, you can enter it in that USPS and pull that notification online of the date that he signed for it and received it. So,
In this blue one, it says tribal council, that second highest bid of $36, but you said that your Christensen will match the high bid of 45. So that's giving those two an option. Then there was one other. So I don't know what,
yeah, you can do either or put it up for bid.
put it back up for bid.
We put it back up for bid.
So you didn't offer Lawrence to see if he would match that?
No, I just did you can if you want, but it's the order of succession.
You can actually re-put it up for bid again.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to extend the opportunity for him to respond within a 7-day period. If no response, then it goes to the next highest bidder.
Excuse me, got a motion by Cody. Is there a second? Second call for a second to Cody's motion. Third and final call. Motion dies. What is the pleasure of the council? Speak now or forever hold your
Is there a
peace.
reason why you didn't offer it to Lawrence?
No, I didn't offer it to anybody.
I mean, you just went to Marty to see if he'll match it, or Jerry to see if he would match it. Lawrence is right here and see if he would be interested.
That's fine.
Yes.
Marty, we didn't really, it doesn't look like you approached him, it just says that he was the next highest bidder, right?
Yes.
And then Jerry's the one who approached you, right?
He called the office.
That's why I said the fair way to do it is just put it back out for bid and let them all bid again.
Okay, so make that same motion with what he's saying, I'll do the motion that the 7-day, additional 7-day notice to respond. And then if no response, put it back up for rebids.
Say that again? That motion already died, so somebody
No,
would
no,
have
no,
to.
but that part of his motion I wanted to keep, that part where we give him a 7-day notice.
You have to state your motion for the record.
A notice,
He was already given a 10-day notice.
He already had a chance. Just go to the next.
So then just make a motion to put it out for rebid.
That, or you can go with the second highest bidder, or like she said, if you look on part 5 on 2/24/23, a call came in from former leasee inquiring if lease was paid and offered to match the bid to reobtain the lease at the $45 per acre rate, right?
Yes.
So either you can take that or go it's a second, first, it doesn't matter. If you guys want to rebid it, whatever council wants to do by majority vote. So what is the pleasure of the council? I think my opinion, to be fair, is you just rebid it. Let them all rebid again. And then it's like I explained in the last couple of meetings that since I've been on council, how it was is that on these other lands, it was bidded out and the tribe always went with the highest bidder to bring the money back to the tribe. Got a motion on the floor by Lewis to rebid. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Fay Lee. Any discussion, Lewis?
Gives everyone that has it, that wanted it to rebid and see where that goes.
Chris?
No discussion.
No discussion.
Cool.
Yep.
Call for the vote, Lewis. Chris?
Four.
Fay Lee? Two? Cody?
I gotta go against.
Okay. Motion carries 4-4, 1 against. Next one.
This just happened yesterday. A written request was dropped off at the office for a residential lease modification to add somebody.
What page is it?
It'd be that last pink one, I believe.
Page 2, number 4.
Kind of hard to read. It was. And then I just attached a copy of his lease.
The yellow house or the house he's living in now?
That yellow house on the corner,
The yellow house on the corner?
little action there yesterday.
I saw the door open, but I didn't know which one.
There's a map on the very last page that shows the location.
You talking about his mom's house or his old house on that corner?
Corner.
Old house in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You make payments on that?
No, not residential leases.
Or whether don't have these payments?
No. The old ones used to have $1 for a term of 25 years, and then about 10 years ago or so, they did away with the $1. Or maybe it was like 15 years ago.
I'll make a motion for Lambert's request.
Approve?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion up floor by Chris to accept. It's a request, second by Cody. Any discussion, Lewis? Chris? Haley?
Is Mandy related to Lambert?
I don't know.
Is it what?
Is Mandy related to Lambert?
We're all related.
It's kind of weird. I don't know. I just don't know the connection there. So.
But yeah,
I think Lambert wants to sell a house.
They're gonna knock it down and clean up around the area, so they were requesting today that they're gonna
I think he's trying to sell it or sold it.
sold it or did something.
No, what'd you move?
Oh, I just asked what their relation was. I just didn't know how. That's all, that's my only question.
Two. Cody? Nope. Call for the vote, Louis. Chris? Bailey?
Abstain,
Vote with or without the majority?
without steps that doesn't count.
Okay. Jewel? Excuse me, Cody? 4. Motion carries 4-4, 1 abstain.
That's it.
Anything else? Thank you very much. Christie? Good to have you back, Wei.
See you.
Have a good day, Christie.
You guys. Daryl? Come on out.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve the leaders. I felt bad the other day. I was approached by this guy, Seiler. Me being an ex-leader, somebody should, out of respect, come and say, Daryl, let's sit down and talk. But right away, these guys come in there, started. Anyway, long time ago, he honey washed it. When I first started this journey, I was 22 years old. Didn't know nothing. Learned like many young people. But there was good people that sat in the leadership, a lot of old timers. And I learned from them. Not any of them had a mean streak in their body or nothing like that. Respected everybody. Treated them with respect. So anyway, that's how I come about doing this, always learning from somebody. I really felt bad that day. I felt so empty. Why couldn't they come and just ask me? You just give somebody, you was going to give somebody an opportunity when they our enroll members here, just a little while ago. I don't think I got that opportunity. It's just like you're done. If it's my age, there's people older than I am that work here, with all due respect. This guy, he's probably 70. I just turned 64 years old. You know, in my lifetime for being with the tribe, I try to lead by example. Anywhere from coaching, just doing things with the kids. Having rodeos, play days. Just getting involved with the community. I always say, leaders ought to be seen, not heard at these events. Out there politicking. Out there shaking hands. Teasing like we do our humor. Yet you still see some of them still out there. I've never believed in that. I believe in a celebration. Everybody should enjoy themselves. But when these guys approached me, they thought I was just a fill-in. I have a resolution here.
Chris, take that.
I got another one here. But the two approached me. They were outsiders here on our homeland, the land of the Kuwichastas. Two outsiders talking to me. I got the impression there was no respect there at all. Just a week before, I heard somebody on Facebook criticizing this guy right here. I was wondering, what the heck's going on? Not any outsider should come to our lands and disrespect our people that way. I don't care who they are. The point is, they came and talked in different ways to me. He even told me, yeah, you could retire, you don't get penalized. That's BS. I would be penalized by difference of $700-800 a month. So now, feeling empty, bad, I give him a new name. I call him Weasel. Because what I was told, he's going to get you guys in trouble. This is from the Aberdeen area. That's his rumors. So I'd be a little careful what he tells you guys. You know, I helped get this guy here to get this popcorn plant going. Seemed like he didn't appreciate it. Mr. Sider, I was going to help him when he was running for Attorney General. Can go out and help him politics. I helped a lot of people here. I've never wanted anything in return, just to be friends. But if that's how friends do it, so I was hired. They said the tribe had no money. Like, the land issues that went bad. It sounded like I was at fault for those. If I have to suffer for my people for that, then so be it. You know, I think I should be an opportunity. I wanted to retire on my own, and I was going to go at 67. I put a lot of hard work in here. Infrastructure. Somebody told me that I was lazy. Some of this infrastructure I had part in building. Look out the buffalo fence. We had to carry those by just a hand with creosote on them, hot. Excuse me. So we did. I did have a lot of, I got a lot of stuff at home. You know, we get involved with the community, whatever that is. We go to all the functions. We're grandparents to a lot of those ones, the ball players, that their parents don't go. My wife and I are grandpa and grandma to them. If they need a little money for something, we try to give it to them. I've served 22 years on the school board. I don't think I got ever written up for being for something at work. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Always early all the time. Always pass my drug test. Like, the administrators always want them to do all these things. So I think maybe I'm asking you guys to give it a second chance. You know, I really got the time to think. My wife and I lost our mothers. Wasn't very long ago. I shouldn't have to be in front of you guys talking about myself here. I got a little one, grandson, that's crucial right now. I shouldn't have these bad feelings. In a few months, he's going to have heart surgery. So I have to watch myself. But anyway, but they made it sound like you guys didn't have money. Then he turned around and told me, yeah, tribe's got money. See, they spent $25 million. Jeez, what did that got to do with me?
Thank you for your opening statement. And as me, as the leader of the tribe, I'll take full responsibility for everything. The day we wanted to meet with you to discuss your current or past job, they went to go get you, but you left the building and nobody knew where you was at. It was just to discuss that we couldn't sustain that rate of money for that job no more and was gonna look at reassigning, my suggestion at the time was security. We need security in this building. You know as well as I do. We got people on alcohol, meth, marijuana,
Right.
who knows what else roaming
Right.
around this building, coming down our hallways all the time. But we couldn't find you that day, things probably should have been done in a better way, but we were willing to meet with you that day when the discussions happened, and you know this because you come into my office, me and you talked. And I don't think it's anybody being personal or vindictive or disrespectful. Yes, things could have been handled in a different way. And what the real meeting should have been with was personnel as well at the council, and sit down and say, hey, we can't sustain this funded position anymore. And we have to look at a funded position, whether it be from a 638 or a alternative revenue sourced position to make a wage that's favorable to the tribe, to find a job that we need. But like I said, I'll take the responsibility for that. That's my job as a chairman. And I apologize for that. It should have been done a better way. But it goes back to the fact, and I'm gonna tell an honest story here, not a lot of people know about. When I worked for the propane, there was a tribal manager at a place at the time. And I got fired that morning for accidentally breaking out an air induction window in the propane truck because the key that worked for the engine didn't work for the door, and I couldn't get in there. And this tribal manager cussed me out. Fired me on the spot. Floyd Hockman was my witness. I went to the council. One said, that's between you guys. The other one just said, I had nobody. I had a family to feed. I had bills to pay. So trust me when I say I know how it feels. But that fueled my fire to become the person I am today and to try to treat people fair. And I'm sorry that things happened the way it did. There's a better way to do that. Whether it be a former vice chairman as yourself, or former council member, former director, or a tribal member, there's always a better way to do things. Whether or not it's handled the right way is something that we have to take upon ourselves as leaders and as personnel in HR to sit there and say, did we do this the right way or not? If not, yes, we do owe you an apology. But like I said, when the council discussed this day, they went to find you, they just couldn't find you. Nobody knew where you went. And they could have called your phone.
Yeah.
Probably. So we could sit down there and have this meeting to discuss, okay, we can't fully fund this position anymore, but we'd like to offer you a different job at a different pay rate that is sustainable to the tribe.
I think we would have done, if that happened, that would have worked out good.
And like I said, I'll take full responsibility for that.
That Friday, you guys were meeting in here, and I told the guys, it's Friday afternoon, 3:00, I'm going home. Because my wife had one of the grandkids I was helping her with.
And the reality is, I do have respect for you, Daryl. You were my basketball coach. You and Don helped me before. Grew up with DJ and Bobby and Ricky. My son is close to you guys. I mean, I think you're related to half of this council. There's no doubt about that. And this is a learning lesson as well. And I'm not catering or kissing nobody's butt. I'm speaking from the heart. Things could have been done in a different way. But the reality of the fact is we could not sustain that position anymore. But there is, that's what I keep going back to security. There's things that are going on in this building and within our different tribal programs that need to be stopped. People, whether they're using marijuana in a job, missing use of tribal equipment or vehicles, many different things that need to be addressed. And I've said that since the day I go, and no disrespect to Bob, but we know Bob's slowing down. But like I said, I'll take the full responsibility for how things are handled. I should have handled it.
Hey, tell me this. I don't want these guys tuning on our own enrolled members. Like they're below them. That is the most disrespectful thing anybody could do. I mean, this guy should be up in North Dakota. Mr. Seiler, I don't know how old he is, but he should be close to retiring. All I want is the chance on my own terms when I turn that age. Because I'm tired of work. I worked all my life for my family, same way like you.
Well,
Ever since I was 18 years old.
you know, look, Chi, I respect you, dance with you. I don't sit there. I feel the animosity that you have in your heart right now. That you're really frustrated. You're really angry. I understand that part. You're asking for that respect back, and you know, I don't sit there and look at the things as how Clyde does or how you do. But we had to make that decision, and it wasn't anything against you or personally against you, your family, or anything. We wrote, the letter states in it, as soon as you apply for a position, you was getting first top priority. I don't know how or where this all went to the whole different issue of where it is, because in the end, that's all we're saying. We didn't sit there and do anything more than what's been insinuating or what's been said. All we're doing is we couldn't sustain that position. So by sustaining it, all we said is, could you apply for another job?
But then you need to listen to these two when they talk to me.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you could go over do that. Go down and do it and we'll put you in there. Like, we'll put you in there.
And I'll give you real quick, Mr. Azure and Mr. Seiler. I'll start with Mr. Seiler first. You remember he was brought on, I think it was the second term I was in office. Maybe you were just finishing up with your first when he was the prosecutor then. And because of his legal expertise and his standing within the state of South Dakota, not only that, being a former U.S. Attorney General for the state of South Dakota, we thought it'd bring a little bit of credibility back to the tribe after the whatever all happened that none of us were a part of in the 14-16 era. And then when he came on, when we won the election in 2020, when we were reseated, me as the chairman, he helped us find information that was never privileged to any council that I served on for 4 years before that, digging up information. And he said many times, I will step away if I'm causing you guys hardships or whatever, but I'm here to help you do what's in the best interest of your tribe. So I know he catches a lot of hell, but I do have the utmost respect for him because and I worked with Tara as well, the former tribal attorney at that time, and I couldn't get half of what I got with Randy's help from her. And maybe she could have, I don't know, but I gave her that opportunity, but it never happened. So, and maybe his side of the story, he can explain for himself. He's a grown man, but he's always had the tribe's best interest.
Mr. Chairman, I think out of respect, I already heard these guys. I want to hear from you guys.
And just real quick on Mr. Azure, he was the second alternate to the tribal manager position. Shanna was the first. We gave a tribal member that opportunity that was never given to any tribal member before that, to be the first tribal manager of the Lord Bruce Sioux tribe. And then she chose to leave. He was the number 2 alternate. And I think that actually the motion was made by John to select him for the tribal manager position, if I remember right. And he has helped us with a lot of business things. Whether or not how they conduct themselves, maybe I need to sit down and evaluate more myself on these personal conversations. But that's what they're paid to do as well. But yes, you're right. I mean, that's why I asked you. I told you that day, you have the right, as I give every tribal member the right, even the ones that spit in my face, talk bad about me, I give them the right to come to this table and say what's on their heart, because that is their right. And so you have the right to ask the council that. But I just want to give you a little update about Mr. Seiler and Mr. Azure. But I'm not making excuses for anybody's behavior.
You know, so.
Speak. My name is Joseph Grassrope. On behalf of him. I know I've been away for a long time and I always haven't been happy. You know, everybody's trying to look at the bad in people, trying to see the bad in people. I know this guy's good. For real. Up now, wait.
Okay, comment. You know, so I don't know if you guys can give me a second chance or what. Right now, I'm struggling to try to get things in order. But I think picking on elderlies or whatever, people are reaching out to me and saying, when they call for my job, don't they start at the bottom and work up? You know, those are the things that I'm hearing. And you know what? I don't know if you guys are aware of it. I do a lot of reading since my time stuff. We got a bigger fight ahead of us, and I think you guys need to be focusing more on that stuff, at-home issues. Because out west, they're looking for our water rights.
Excuse me.
Fort Pierre already got the same place where they were getting the water from, the Ogalalas. They didn't want to stop by it. Didn't want to pay the Ogalalas like Oklahoma did to Lord Brew. They didn't want to buy our services. So those are major things that are ahead of you guys. And we don't do something now, they're going to take our water rights and our sovereignty. I think those are the two main things. I've talked to some people about this. Because they're running out of water over west. And that's just a gut feeling that I have. You know, so if any one of my family members want to say something. Excuse me.
I would like to say that I would hope and be glad, grateful that you would reinstate my dad to work. But my dad is off game. I can speak for myself as the work part. It would, what's up, go with it, but you gotta work. And I've learned that from my dad, and I passed it to my son. But I want to see my dad retire when he wants to retire, when it's his turn to retire. Not when you guys want him to retire, because if you want my dad to retire, then you better start digging his grave. You know, I want to retire from the Lord of the tribe when I get 60, if I make it that far. You know, I don't know. I always thought there was a chain of command. There's a verbal, all this and that. I thought when you start from the bottom on up, not at the top. My dad is a good man. And he deserves to come back to work. When that's all you know in life is to work, and you don't work, then it's not good. Your body, your mind, it ain't good. Me, I'm used to working 2 full-time jobs, and I only get to work 1. That's not good. That don't make your body feel good. You're used to working. I learned a lot from my dad. And I'm very grateful and thankful. But one thing that I will always remember is my dad's a hard worker. My dad does for anybody. Opens his home up for anybody. You know, I had to go take a loan out to pay my mom's car so they don't have to return it. So if you guys can't give my dad a job back to him, then get me a job that you can see how I can work 2 jobs to take care of my mom and dad. You know, if you don't care for my dad, then put it aside. Let him retire when he wants to. He's asking for 2 years. There's other people that work here that's older than my dad. There's other people that ain't from here. Send them on their way. Don't send them road member. You're here to protect them and guide them, even if they supported you or not. And the majority of you people, I supported you guys. And when my dad got that paper, boy, my heart wasn't good. But this is what I asked, is put my dad back to work. You know what, taking a toll on my mother. Probably any day she's gonna have a heart attack. Worried about these bills. But I'll give what I have to give up for my parents to take care of them, because my dad took care of me. My dad supported me. He kept us close. We're together. You know, now my son don't know if there's a relay season. Do I give what I have to my grandpa, my grandma and grandpa? So they could take care of their bills? You know, you guys got directors, you guys got people that ain't doing their job. Go after them. You know, there's things going on in our community. Go get them. You got directors that don't have to listen, ain't gonna listen. Go get them. Give my dad a chance. That's what I ask. It's taking a toll. Like me today, you know what? Where am I gonna work at? Where am I gonna get a second job to take care of my mom and dad? If I gotta give my vehicle back in order to pay for theirs, I will. Let my dad work his 2 more years. Retire on his own. And that's all I ask. You know, I supported you guys. Because I believed in you.
You know, sitting, like you guys sitting here, I think about a lot of things, and what came to my mind one time I was sitting here, I was looking at a lot of our men folks, a lot of the Lexis, Lala and all of them. Our average, I think our average Native American, our people, they go on their journey at the age of 72, 73. I only got a few more years because that's the average. You know, so that gives you guys something to think about. And you got to take time to think about these things. I have, so, but my heart is empty today. Really. My wife, I feel for her more than anything because she could have a heart attack. The last big time when I seen her like that was when we had a tragedy in our family. I don't want to lose my wife because we've been married about 47 years. She was my junior high sweetheart. That's a lot of years. And I got a lot of teaching to do with my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren.
Excuse me. Yeah, what do you think?
Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to reinstate Daryl Middleton.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by Chris. Second. Second call for a second to Chris's motion. Third and final call to a second to Chris's motion to reinstate Daryl Middleton at his current position. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Motion dies, lack of a second.
Can I say something, Clyde?
Yep, floor is open.
Guys, I went around and around and around with this. I voiced my opinion a lot when we were addressing this. We addressed it more than once. The way the situation was presented to us was messed up at the beginning. How it was presented to us, wasn't even during a council meeting. It was just during like a finance meeting or something. And I asked the question, who initiated this process? Who wanted this to happen? And why? I didn't really get the answers that I wanted out of that. But I continue to, and I do continue to, every time I sit in the seat, you guys, I continue to say, the vote of the people are who we're representing. The people who are voted us here. He is a tribal member, regardless of what kind of relationship we have or anything, any relationship with anybody in the whole reservation. Our tribal members put us here. We need to think about our tribal members in anything that we do here. And that's what I go by every decision I make, every conversation I have, everything that I even comes across me. Our tribal members put us here, we're here to represent them. Let's do what's best, think of our tribal members in mind. When this was brought to us, the way it was brought to us, it shouldn't even have been brought into us. It was something that should have been handled through personnel and tribal manager. So why wasn't it? Why was it brought to us and the burden put on us? And it was more like, it wasn't, if it was gonna be brought to us, it should have been brought to us at council meeting, and having action on it. But that didn't happen. And I don't know why that didn't happen. And the 3 or 4 or 5 conversations we had about it, yeah, we finally did say, we came to the agreement, let's talk to him. Let's talk to him and see how to go about this. What's the right way to go about this? He's a tribal member. And I agree with you, Daryl. I would be just as mad if I was approached by a non-member. I agree with that too. Because this is the whole reason why I'm sitting in this position right now, is for our tribal members and to represent our tribal members.
Yeah, I don't think you'd, if Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse are sitting in front of, I don't think you'd let non-members speak to them. I think you guys would run and speak to them first.
And my dad was in here just a little bit ago too, with a little bit of insight, because elders, and it's our Lakota way. It's our Lakota way. It's one of our one of our values is to have respect. Not alone respect for everybody, but respect for our elders. And we're losing that right now. That is, I mean, I'm watching it. I'm watching the respect level drop so bad in our community. But like I said, the way it was brought to us, I didn't like it. I sat here and I voiced, my concerns with it and everything. We finally did come to a decision as a council to sit and, hear him out. I don't know, that didn't take place like we were saying, because he wasn't here. I don't know how it went. I guess I was kind of left in the dark. I didn't know where we were going to go from there. I didn't even realize that these two were going to go approach you. But I knew the conversation was on the table.
I think, Faye, I think if I remember, John McCauley and Marvin approached him and said, leave it alone, you guys. Just leave it alone. They had enough sense to leave it alone. As soon as they left, he come back.
So, and that's why I said, I don't even know. And my thing is, what I said and what I continue to express in this meeting was, yes, we do have to cut the tree because of the financial situation we're in. But what the hell, we started on the wrong side of the tree because he's a tribal member. We should be looking at the bigger impact that this overspending has, the bigger impact of financial situation that we are facing. And why start, at the wrong end of the tree? He's a tribal member. I always wanted to get the answers. Why was this, out of anything that we could have ever made a move, why was this one of the first moves we made? Regardless if it's the right move to make, regardless if we all decided as a group to make this decision. Like I said, I was left in the dark. I didn't realize these two actually wouldn't go and talk to him until after it happened. But I knew the conversation was on the table. As far as the confidentiality and all that stuff, I didn't know where I was at, what place I had in this conversation, but to voice to the rest of us, the rest of us as the council, where my position was. And the way it happened, you're right. Being a non-member is very disrespectful, especially to a member, especially to an elder. But the way it was brought to us too, the way it was presented to us was just unprofessional as well. But when we said it should have been handled as a personnel issue, because technically it is a personnel issue.
That's what I couldn't believe when, I thought Wilma and them would come in and, sit you down in our office, and that's where it starts, but.
But then we decided to give you the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, but you weren't here that day, and I don't know where the decision went after that. And so, but.
I think the mind was already made up.
So, and I just think that the reason why you can't really make that motion right now is because, did you get a grievance hearing at all or anything?
Nobody sat him down.
Yeah, they didn't tell me that.
There wasn't no process.
Is he eligible?
There's no due process.
We can, as a council, make that decision.
Wilma, was he eligible for a grievance? But in the personnel policy, you don't know if a RIF is different, handles the grievance process.
Reduction in you guys wanna give it?
Like I said, the whole situation, the way it was handled, we didn't handle it here. It was a personnel issue that was handled.
I'm not gonna sit there and blame people. I'm gonna take my responsibility for it. Not accountable myself, but if I have to take heat for everything, I'll do it. You wanna, there's a grievance process, say give Mr. Middleton his chance for a grievance. And the council
Give them that opportunity.
to discuss this.
Depending on the personnel handbook, what that goes back.
And he, if he was a full-time employee, every full-time employee has grievance rights.
You want to do the full-time.
Yeah, so that is, and I think that's the way it needs to go through first, and it comes back here. But in the meantime, like I said, I said it from the beginning, it was just an unsustainable job at the moment.
I think if you apply for a job, it says your priority. Applying for a different job isn't.
I think I'll go for the grievance.
I'd just like to share also, when you run for council, I always voted for you. You know, because you have my grandson. Didn't have his dad, he lost him when he was young. So I always had that respect, you know, that you worked hard and you did help raise him. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
How was he gonna do that today?
Yeah.
That's because of you and your wife. But when we started to decide what we're gonna do to help our people, you know, as a council, you know, you're not the only one that is going to be affected by whatever our decisions are. What started it was when we found out some individuals that took advantage of the tribe. They got this huge amount of money through loans. They didn't pay back. So the tribe has to take over that burden. And that's why we're hurting, because all these individuals that had these loans, there was only 2 that paid them back. And so this is where the hard decision came to start doing something. And I feel bad, my heart hurts that, you know, you were a part of that. She cried when we were, you know, trying to decide what to do and how to handle this, and so that was part of the reason why we had to make this RIF, you know, because we can't afford to carry people for that amount of income that you were getting.
I would have sat down and worked with you guys, honestly.
Yeah, you know, and I just feel bad that this all came to this point. So we're gonna hear more people coming to us hurting because we're making decisions that are hard. You know? And it's not because we don't respect you. We're just trying to dig out of this hole that we were put in because of past bad choices that were made. Because people got to do whatever they wanted to do. A lot of people were on the gravy train. A lot of people. And they're hurting today because that gravy train is stopping. Look at Mike's family. Does anybody reach out to them? No. They practically have to beg to get a tank of gas. And so.
Well, now I'll be begging, coming to you guys, asking for a tank of gas too, so.
We'll be here.
Okay.
I mean, we do that, but you know, we didn't want you to retire. You know, we're offering that you can apply for another job. We're not saying you can't work, but for that amount of money, our tribe can't afford to carry someone that, you know, for that amount. I mean.
You know what? I don't blame you guys, Joe. Maybe Clyde, if he took some blame there, what he said he did.
No,
I blame this guy right here.
No, we can't blame them.
That's the first
They're
time.
working for us.
That's the first thing they do. Because the other one before him did the same thing.
We don't have any money to do stuff like that. He works hard to get these grants going, and we got this place down here, and we got this lawyer that he's trying to help us make the right decisions, and he's not telling us what to do. He just helps us to handle in a legal way. So,
Somebody said, well, how much does that lawyer make? He's always down there every day. I know what a lawyer makes.
no, he's not here every day.
I mean, Hackley. That's like $300.
Yes, that our tribe is put in.
Yeah.
We need his advice to handle things legally. Like I said, we're gonna have more people coming to us because they're gonna be part of this work. They're gonna have to pay that back. We're not gonna let them slide. Everybody has been on the gravy train too long, and we're gonna start making people step up because we have to do everything we can as a council to, everybody has to do their part. And, you know, these people should have had those loans paid up a long time ago, but they were able to let it go. And because they want to, you know, they get to a point where they live above their means. A lot of our people, they live above their means. And once you get used to that, you want to just keep doing it. And I'm sorry that, you know, some people, we can't just continue to live above our means because things are happening. You're right. We got a lot of things that we're going to face concerning our water but like, we're starting from the bottom and trying to work this all out.
But I don't think you can't go back to history and become, what is that? To make things better. Because that's already there.
That's what started it.
Yeah,
That's why
that's what's there.
In our way, the way we are.
Today, we start from today and we move forward.
Your wife wants to speak.
Oh, sorry.
I'm asking something, so whoever is under his program, they're all getting the same thing? Or is it because of his salary? I mean, you guys have a pay scale. So when people, by working every year, doing a good job, you go up. So they're the ones that you're gonna start knocking down. So when my son reached 40, he's gonna get knocked down. My grandson hits 35, is he gonna get knocked down? Ricky's been so long, are they gonna get knocked down? That's kind of more or less what you're saying. And if these people that have loans, then take it out on them.
Like, when you riff someone, don't you riff the person, the latest person you hire, then go up? Is it not what a riff is? Right here, the latest person, next, or do you just go to the top? Because if my dad saves his tribe with his income, goddamn, that's the best thing. You know that? It is. But you know, don't give his job back. Could you guys please put in a word at the casinos that could work there and take care of them?
Mayor, I want to say something. Now, Council had some pretty wise words today, and I agree with them. And I just want to reaffirm that it was not a personal issue. It was a budget-related decision, Darrell. And if I'm correct, the policy and procedures say that if personnel is RIFed, then their RIF personnel will get preference to jobs as they become available.
I understood that, yeah. So right now, I'm on unemployment.
That's what you're on?
Try to get unemployment. And I'm working for the next step after that. Things don't work out. things don't work out. That's what I have to do. But I always thought I made an impact on our community, honestly. And I try to teach that to my family, my kids, everybody. They try to participate in everything. Probably done everything. This guy even said, you gotta go work with kids. Shit, I was a teacher's aide. I was a coach down there. So, I mean, that's kind of what irritates me.
I got a question for myself though. I'm kind of it's getting a little leery. I work since I was 18 and I climbed this little ladder. I climb my way to where I'm at, work hard every day, come every day. When you make a certain amount of money, can I not put 100% job because I don't want to climb that ladder and get knocked down and get ripped? Because I mean, I'm asking for myself. I kind of get scared. Should I do a half-assed job? Or do I put 199% into it? I do every day. Because I do get evaluated every year. That's scary. I don't want to get ripped. But I would. But, you know, if anything, you guys could give my job to my dad. He taught me how to work in a white man's world. I don't want to see him like this. I hope everybody underneath him, are they gone too? If he's ripped, everybody in him and all his staff below him, are they gone? Are their jobs gone? Because these loans, whoever these loans are, you guys better go to the courthouse and file on them. Whoever owns these loans, because if my dad saves the tribe, I think, yeah, this is the best outcome on the whole thing.
No, so I just think the thought, this guy said, nothing against how Lexi Dwayne worked, but I didn't know that. I realized that what he was making, his peanuts. So, I mean, that'd take a lot for him. We'll put you down there, he said. Like he was making a choice. Hell, I even thought about going up there and applying at the women's prison. McDonald's. Surely you guys would like to see it. Pull up and see a tribal leader working at the window or something. So, believe me, I had many thoughts. Many thoughts, so. But if I could, do women's deal and let you guys decide. Yeah. I guess I have nothing.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you, Weasel. I see you all the time.
You have something, Jan?
Start, some of our own people, our tribal members, start ripping as our non-members. That still exists. And, you know, looking at cutting some of their salaries, the non-tribal members. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
You have anything, Jan? DJ? We're going to a closed session with the personnel right now. Thank you all.
I'd like to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry. You could ask.
I'm a two-way Chacha. My grandparents are treaty descendants. My great-great-grandfathers signed the treaty for this Kuwi Chacha tribe, one who kills the white buffalo cow and dead hand. I worked off the reservation. I left the reservation. I couldn't get a job, so I left and went and worked And then I come back in 2001 because of my mother being, getting up in age. And I didn't want to come back here. I wanted to stay out there and work. Because, you know, it was, I was an assistant manager. I left here. There's a lot of jobs out there. If you get educated, get out there and get a job. Why stay around here, you know? I hear all these sad stories here. Why, my goodness, go on out there, you know, compete with those people. I did. And I am a real kuwichasha. I'm not no, I don't have any other blood in me. And I hear all these people complaining. They have to be glad they do have jobs. Ugh, gets me.
Have a good day, thank you.
Thanks, Janice.
Personnel? Yep. Yep.
What's to say something?
Oh,
Sorry, I missed that, but I've known Daryl all his life, my relative. Dad's my relative. And I told this to Bailey when she first came and started talking about riffing people. I said, well, be careful, don't riff your own people. You got a non-member and a tribal member. You know, you should look more at the non-member or the non-Indian. Because you guys are elected by your people to represent them. No white person elected you guys. No non-member elected you. Keep that in mind. I don't want to pull up.
who's the other one?
I have something to say. I don't know when you're ever gonna get to my problem with the housing.
That's, when we discussed that with them, that's their attorney that you have to work with. Remember, their attorney was supposed to write a statement on that or something, and I haven't heard nothing from them since.
I did write a letter to and housing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, what?
I did write a letter to the housing board
Is
and
that the one you gave us a copy of?
I wrote a letter to them stating what I wanted because how they did my son for the ERAP funding. And I just wanted to say that he's still homeless. And but he's still working, thank God. He still has a job. It's not like he didn't pay his rent. He was on light duty, 20 hours a week and paying what he could. Being that the cost of living is so high in Denver that was doing pretty good to pay his rent to be able to keep shelter over, for himself. And when ERAP funding, when he got his eviction notice, I told him apply for ERAP funding because they're helping people with the rent and things. And so he did. He submitted his app in September, and then it just like they looked at his application and just got delayed.
Yeah, and that's what their attorney's supposed to review and all that to give back a status report. I told him once he gets back to them to send us a copy.
Even had an attorney, I thought,
Yeah, they're not under us. I mean, we're supposedly, the way it is, I still want to see it in paper. Council selects the housing board. The housing board is over the housing. So whatever crazy concocted thing, however that was made, I guess.
yeah.
No offense to anybody that works there or previously worked there, but it's just a crazy organizational structure.
Well, I just think that, too, that, Yana Obego did the approval of the apps. I feel like she should be reprimanded or fired for that. I mean, look at how many people they missed because they didn't have a working fax machine. Because there's not a lot of people that are computer literate, that can go ahead and email all their stuff. Not a lot of people have access to Wi-Fi on the internet. And therefore, I said, imagine how many people you guys miss. I'm not only speaking for my son, but the people that you might have missed.
Did you write that up to the housing board? About her?
Yeah, I did. I let them know that, and I said, I'm not gonna stop until you guys rectify this, because I felt that it was wrong, because there was no communication. Nothing, I mean, you know, I gave you the.
Yeah, and I apologize, I didn't get to finish reading the whole thing, but my advice to you personally is ask the housing for the number to their attorney, reach out to him yourself and send him a copy of your written complaint.
I know my next step is to, contact the funding that are, the. funding-
Treasury?
Yeah, not the treasury, but the ones that oversee the funding. Not
Housing?
Themselves per se,
HUD?
but where the funding came from. That's my next step, but then, if nothing is resolved with them on that, because I co-signed for the apartment, it's not like my son didn't pay rent, you know, he was doing what he could. And then he just had his surgery, so now he's not even working. So, I just wanted to, say that I feel like they should do something for him, you know. So and also too, that I did write a letter to the board and the housing officials, like I said. But then if nothing is done, then the next step for me to do is to sue them, because, I co-signed for his apartment. And when they evicted him, the landlord, he got his eviction notice the same time he applied for the ERAP funding. Then the landlord held off till December. She held off his eviction, waiting to hear from housing to see how much they were gonna help him with. And then because they never communicated with her, and they didn't communicate with me or my son, they evicted him. And like I had told the board, they're, what would you do with your child? Well, that's what my next move is, anyway.
Yeah.
That's up on that. But. You know,
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. It is,